What's going on YouTube? Levi of Old Iron Off-Road, and we are back out here today on this Dana 70 front axle. I'm going to put a link up in the top corner to our other video where we actually took a center section out of a random junkyard axle and retubed it and added these reed outer knuckles. Today we're going to move a little bit further forward on completing this project for our 800 rock crawler. We're going to be adding an Artec truss. Now this truss is actually for a Dana 60, so I'm not sure what we're gonna have to do to modify around this section. I'm sure there's gonna have to be some fitment changes made to it. Initially I'd intended on doing leaf springs on the front of this truck, but I just decided to go ahead and do full lengths front and rear. Gonna build it once, build it right, and make it what we want. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this Artec truss unboxed, take a look at it, see what we're gonna have to modify, and get it tacked together, get it fit up on this axle. It's actually pre-keyed and looks like it isn't really going to require much modification, if any, around the top of the chunk. So the reason we went with the Artec truss, there are some other cheaper options out there. The Artec actually had a 3/8 top plate and everything else in the center was quarter, where all the other ones seem to be 3/16 and quarter on the top. Not sure that's really gonna matter much other than added weight, but it just for the sake of beef, we're gonna beef stuff up where we can. So get this thing out of the box, tack it together, and we'll see what it looks like. Immediately I can see there's some interference issues here, as well as over the top of the pumpkin, which actually may work out to my benefit. I don't think this one is originally intended to be welded to the center section. I think that we can get this clearanced out and get this clearanced out, and we can actually get it setting tight enough onto the top of the center section that we can actually stitch weld in a few spots and at least alleviate some of the worries of the tubes potentially turning, which I'm not super concerned about, but it is definitely a thought. So I think we'll get this thing tacked together so that it's not being held by saran wrap, and figure out what we need to modify. So I actually started thinking, while these plates come out of that truss, I think I'll actually set them on here and kind of get an idea of where they're going to fall. Now that piece sets pretty nice right there, but the back piece is going to be over this little section here. I'm not going to cut that off. I think I can just notch that to where that'll drop down. This piece is close as well, but we've got some clearance issue here, and I think this little doodad on top of the house is going to have to come off. So make a few cuts, get this thing tacked together, and I think it'll drop right on. So hopefully it'll be low to no drama. right, so we got this guy fit up and we have no less than 11 billion hours of welding. And I'm actually gonna take my time welding this. Anytime you've got this much heat that you're putting in any kind of piece of steel, definitely wanna take your time with it. I'm gonna get this guy welded out and we will get it tacked onto the axle. So we got it welded out. I really didn't feel the need to film the whole process. And I also didn't completely weld this thing. I kind of stitched it together. So I'm gonna clean it up and get any of the hot balls off of it. And I'm gonna get it tacked up on the axle. I gotta put my shield on and never put my shield on. Anyway. Another day out here in the shop. Got this guy all welded out yesterday. Pretty happy with how it turned out. And that brings us to today. I've got a few minutes this evening to get a few things buttoned up. And I wanted to get these knuckles machined down. And we have this guy chucked up in the mill. Now, I'm not a machinist. No clue what I'm doing. No formal training, no education. But again, what we lack in know-how we'll make up for in excitement and overconfidence. So we're gonna cut this out. Luckily, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. We've got it locked down in there and the bottom of the knuckle reference is already flat. So it's as true as, it's as true as the table. So cutting those out should be pretty straightforward. So we're gonna fire this guy up and go ahead and knock these off. Again, this is not a critical process. We've got all this surface area. We just wanna make sure that it's as flat as possible. So we're gonna do machinist things and act like we know what we're doing when we have no clue. Boy, I'm back in the shop. It is Monday. Actually slept in a little bit today. We had our annual Harvesters in the Holler event. If you haven't gone over to Harvesters in the Holler on YouTube and checked out last year's video, make sure to go do that. But yeah, we had an awesome event here in Crossville on the plateau. We hosted 120 scouts, I believe, and fed probably close to 200 plus people. It was an amazing weekend. Thank you to each and every person that came. Again, go check that out. If you want to be a part of something big, if you're in the International Scout community, make sure to check out harvestersintheholler.com. Anyway, back in the shop today, back on this guy. We left off where we were milling the top of the knuckles off, and I've got one buttoned up, nice and flat and clean. Cleaned up pretty good. But that took 4 EVAR. So on this one, we're taking off some of the meat with old Mr. Sawzall before we put it in the mill and give it a good clean up. So we're gonna get this guy cut down, chucked in the mill, cleaned up, blast some paint on these guys, and we'll be ready to start hanging knuckles on this axle. So we managed to finish up machining the keyway off the top of these knuckles. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Had to do a couple passes just to get all the ridges. That is one thing on these. You do want these super flat. You want as much clamping force and a good true flat surface for these high steer arms to clamp to. So got that done. Got some Steelit. Ended up painting them with black Steelit. And also too, just so you know, when you paint these, you do not want to paint any of these mating surfaces. You want them bare metal to bare metal. So got the kingpins installed, and I went ahead and threw the seal on because if I don't, I'll forget. I always do. And we're going to go ahead and put the kingpins together and get the knuckles hung on this guy real quick. I've got a few minutes this evening. We're going to make it happen. So pretty straightforward stuff. You've got this little disc guy here. That's going to go in first. Your race is going to hold that in. Bearing obviously is going to sit in the race, and then your seal is going to go on, and that kind of holds everything together. All right, got our lower trunnions. These are big beefy stuff. That's one of the good things about kingpin stuff is, I mean, you just got loads of beef everywhere. And I'm actually, before I put this together, or after I put it together, it really doesn't matter. I'm gonna make a little piece to protect the grease zerk, because the grease zerks always get knocked off at the bottom of these guys. We'll do that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these races in though. Pack these bearings, slam them in, bada boom, bada bing. Find out. Yeah. That's cool. The grease actually suction cupped that guy in there. Stay. Is it gonna stay? Probably not. Fine. You always like to drop brand new bearing on the ground. So no big deal. It's no big deal. On my hammer. I'm gonna get my hammer up. All the way across the shop, I'm an idiot. We're gonna let it fall out again. Hey, it's safe. And we're gonna set this thing over. Hang the knuckle. Hang the knuckle. Cool, big grease scratch on this guy. That's heavy. Yeah, buddy. Go ahead and drop our bushing in. I'm not gonna get too carried away with installing it just yet. We're actually gonna get the lower trunnion in. These are actually all I ever run in any of my kingpin stuff, except on my Dodge. My first gen truck has had, it's actually had springs and nylon in it for probably going on 8 years now. When I rebuilt that axle a long time ago. And they've actually held up, but in off-road applications where you can kind of have heavier tires, I like to use these guys. So. So yeah, the big thing with these is the grease zerk always gets knocked off. So we'll cut us a little chunk of tubing and just a little sliver of it. We'll actually tack it up, weld it up with this. That way it's got something to protect the grease zerk so you can service it.
Make it happen.
So we managed to grab some hardware today. We'll go ahead and get these lower kingpins put on. Got it all welded up with our fancy grease zerk. That's fancy. That's fancy. Dig it. So, I think that's about all we've got on this front axle for now. Like I said, I've got a few more parts to order. I've got to order my gears. I need to figure out axle shafts. I'm hoping a standard Dana 60 axle shaft length will work. I've got some spares outside that we can check once we get the carrier in. I've got the spindles, I've got caliper brackets. I need a set of single wheel hubs. I think that's going to be about it for this guy. Obviously, we've got some brackets and stuff still to weld to the top as far as getting it fit up underneath the truck and 3-link functional. But for now, I believe that's all we got. So if you're still watching, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. It's really important that you subscribe. So 70% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed. It would do us a huge favor if you would take 2 seconds, click the subscribe button, especially if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and as always, enjoy.